Today we will dive into what made Milledgeville into a place we all know and love. We will discuss its time serving as our state's capital, the role that it played in the Civil War, and how Sherman's March to the Sea impacted our beloved town.
Okay. Yeah, so I am Dr. James Wellborn. I am a Southern historian, 19th century American cultural historian, kind of by trade. So a lot of my research and teaching focuses on the American Civil War era, kind of broadly defined. I kind of define it in the same way that the Journal of the Civil War era defines it, which is 1820 to 1880. So it sort of encompasses everything from causation, mostly disputes over slavery leading up to the war, and then how the war plays out, the courses it takes.
The town of Milledgeville was first settled in the year of 1803 and officially became the capital of Georgia in 1804. The town was named after former Georgia Governor John Millage.
Prior to becoming the capital, there wasn't a whole lot around Milledgeville because it was kind of just coming into its period of sort of white settlement, settler colonial. So most of the activity around here would have been indigenous communities prior to Milledgeville, because Milledgeville becoming the capital is kind of keeping pace with the expansion of white settlement. So,
The Civil War was a war fought within a singular nation. The southern states of these United States were not fond of the way our nation was being run, so they split away and formed the Confederate States of America. The state of Georgia seceded on January 21st, 1861. The war began April 12th, 1861. Joseph Emerson Brown played a key role within the Confederacy during the war. Although originally from South Carolina, he served as the governor of Georgia from 1857 to 1865. He, like many others, resided in the governor's mansion right here in Milledgeville during his term.
And so Brown is fearful of the concentration of power within the Confederacy. Now that the Confederacy has broken from the American Union, Brown is particularly concerned about some of the centralizing policies of the Jefferson administration. He becomes a very outspoken critic of Jefferson Davis and the Confederate government.
William T. Sherman was a general for the Union Army during the war. He is most known for his strategic prowess and his ruthless nature in battle. He led many campaigns throughout the war, but most famous is his Savannah campaign, or more properly known as Sherman's March to the Sea. Sherman's March to the Sea was a pivotal point in both the war and our country's history. The goal of the campaign was to cripple the Confederacy's ability to wage war. Sherman's troops destroyed anything they thought could aid their enemy's troops. Sherman was widely criticized because many historians believe he destroyed civilian property when he didn't need to.
Sherman becomes kind of the devil incarnate, right? Like he's just wantonly burning everything, and he has no concern for. The numbers don't really bear that out. It's a very, very destructive campaign. Very deliberately so. But that destruction is very targeted. The private property that's destroyed has immense economic and military, by extension, military value. There are a lot of instances where Sherman's troops don't destroy private property if they don't deem it sort of valuable for the Confederate war effort.
So what does all this have to do with Milledgeville? Well, during Sherman's march, Milledgeville was a very important stop. Sherman and his forces actually spent the night in Milledgeville to rest and take some time in our state house, which is now known as Georgia Military College, to reorganize and plan their next move. Sherman also left Milledgeville relatively intact and did not destroy very much of our then capital.
The presence of U.S. troops in Milledgeville, in the State House, in the governor's mansion is far more of a symbolic kind of psychological assault on the Confederate war effort and the Confederate psyche in Georgia than burning those facilities down would have been, right?
Sherman and his troops left Milledgeville November 24th, 1864. They continued on to capture Savannah and then returned north through the Carolinas in a more violent manner than their time in Georgia. The war officially ended on April 9th, 1865. Now, Milledgeville is no longer the capital, but it is a place many generations of families and college students have called home. Most know it as the home of the Bobcats and AJ's Wings, but if you dive just a little bit deeper, you'll learn that the capture of our small college town proved to be a turning point in both the Civil War and our American history. Thank you.